Find yourself a cat, because we got rats. Hello, everybody. This is Alex, and you're watching Clocked Out, where I clock out so you don't have to. In today's matchup, we have Yukai Fishermen versus Piper's Rats. Let's get into the game. Today, I'm playing against Brigham, a local player. On his side, he's got, from the top down, Scourge, Piper, Skulk, Squeak, Miasma, and Vet Graves. And then from the top down, I have Angel, Sakana, Yukai, Knuckles, Salt, and Fathom. He rolls success. So I am allocating some on Salt, a little bit on everybody. And then the plan here is to get the ball with Salt and then pass it down the pitch and try and get a goal with Fathom. So Salt moves. So where'd they go? Jogs over, passes to Angel, gets it. Bank the momentum. He goes with Skulk and passes. Just getting out a momentum counter. Jog Angel up, pass the ball to Sakana. Gets it. We do a where'd they go, or get over here Salt, just to block some lines. He moves up Squeak and passes the turn, the activation, I mean. I think we pass over to Yukai. We just jog Sakana so he can bag of coffers onto Angel. He walks up Graves and passes the activation. Yukai goes, passes over to Knuckles. And now we're measuring to see if we can break the surface onto Piper, which would be pretty huge here because it sort of would invalidate all of his influence. At least that's the attempt. End up missing this. We did bonus time it, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Haunting Melody. I decided that he should jog towards me. He starts to push Yukai to try and get into range of Scourge so that he can generate some momentum and possibly kill Yukai and win turn. So he ends up using Reverie to bring up Scourge and ends Piper's activation. I drop the ball pass the ball over to Fathom, walk up and engage Scourge, and I buy an attack into Scourge, and I am able to knock him down. He goes with Miasma and does a Radicalism. I believe he ends up hitting Knuckles, misses Yukai, and hits Salt. Luckily, he didn't hit Yukai because if Scourge goes after Yukai, Scourge gets the extra damage, I believe. Here we're measuring Fathom's goal range. Basically, 10 inches is acrobatic sprint and then her heroic. We want to make sure we're out of the Skulk's lightning reflexes. So we end up doing the dodge into the charge, and I charge Vet Graves get a 2-inch dodge, and then she acrobatics and goes for the shot with a bonus time. And gets it. Gets the goal. It's 4-0 for Fish. Now Brigham is looking to kill the ball off to the side. But I got a plan for that. So he goes with Scourge, but then I tell him that Knuckles has close ranks. So he's thinking now he's going to attack Yukai still, and I make a counterattack with Yukai, and I'm looking to get Yukai out. So I end up moving Yukai away from Scourge, and now he's forced to go into Knuckles. Pops Resilience. I counter this as well. I knock him down so he can't move. He stands up. He was considering clearing his conditions, but our momentum is so close that it made sense for him to just stand up and buy an attack and try to win the turn that way. And with Pay the Piper, it's rough. Right there, I was just measuring to see if Salt could go get the ball, which Salt can go get the ball, which is pretty nice. And also Yukai if I need to. I believe I measured that. So Brigham won the turn, but it was close. He played a 5 and I played a 7, and we were 2-4. So we had to roll off for the win, and he ended up winning. That would have been pretty big if I had won the turn, but goes with Piper first, breaks resilience, and just slowly pulls Knuckles in to crowd him out. With disease on him, lowering his tack, and all the crowd outs, there's not a whole lot that Knuckles can do to get out of that situation. And I'm not sure that I'm really looking to do that, but keeping my eyes open at any point if he makes a mistake. But yeah, he pretty much takes all of Piper's activation to just push Knuckles to jail him. So I go with Salt. At least I'm measuring it. Salt. I'm seeing if Salt can make any kind of goal run. Possibly if I go with Yukai first and Swirling Waters, or move Angel up and do a get over here Salt. But I end up just going with Salt, and I kick the ball out. And we scatter, and unfortunately we get kind of a bad scatter where it goes to Miasma, but I thought in order to actually make the ball live again, I wanted to kick it off and scatter. I mean, I guess I could have kicked it back, but then we got that barrier there that might have stopped it, so I didn't really want to take that risk, but in hindsight, it is what it is. I believe he goes with Miasma here, buys a few attacks into Knuckles, and uses, what is that called? Erupting Spores, does some damage, and then does a free pass over to Scourge and passes turn. So I end up going with Sakana, and I'm measuring Sakana's fancy footwork range. I get there. He gives himself big coffers, and attacks Miasma. So we have a free bonus time. We end up getting the hits. We get fancy footwork, get the ball off Scourge. He does a counter. He ends up getting 2 hits, which is not enough to tackle it back. And so I passed the ball off to Yukai? No, I think I passed it off to Angel. And we were down dice because we're crowded out, but we get the pass. And then I dodge Sakana over to sort of block the line that Scourge could walk to get it. But he ends up going there anyway. Charges Angel. We're just talking about positioning here. So he charges Angel. I don't think I defensive stanced. I'm not sure. But he ends up knocking her down. And the ball doesn't go too far, but the bigger problem is that now I don't have momentum. I can't stand her up. She's going to be diseased. And so the ball is kind of dead there at the moment. So I'm trying to remember what we're talking about here. Right. So we're discussing how crowded out Knuckles is, and I would like to stand Knuckles up and start buying attacks, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to get any kind of value out of that. So I just decided to go. I'm measuring a bit to see where my options are. I see Fathom over there. I really need momentum. That's the issue. I'm measuring Yukai to see if Yukai can get the ball and do some things there. And the problem is I don't have momentum to stand up Angel. So I believe I end up going with Fathom to generate some momentum. But it takes me quite a while to figure out exactly what I'm going to do there. So yeah, I end up deciding, okay, Fathom's not really going to get a ball in this case. So I just walk up to Squeak. He's the easiest to hit and just start generating momentum. I did miss one, which is unfortunate because it's going to come into play a little bit. But then he goes and he buys attacks, I believe, with Skulk into Knuckles, and I believe takes him out here. Could be wrong. Yep. So that's 2 points to the Rats. So with the momentum, we stand up Angel with you. We go with Yukai. We stand up Angel. Now we're thinking about how we want to do this, but Swirling Waters to get her out, just to make the pass more successful. Just move Yukai back as far forward as we can. Throw a kick, it's successful. And then we Legendary to place Angel with the ball. And at this point, I know that he can't get to the ball, and he doesn't have any more influence, so I'm looking to score a goal here. He does go with Graves and puts 2 influence on Squeak, and I'm measuring here to see if I can get in tap in with my 2. It does not look like I can. With my 2 influence, I should say. So here we're also trying to get measuring where Salt could go with get over here. Salt. So we move Angel and we move Salt. And we shoot with a super shot, and she gets the goal. So that's 8-2. Now he's killing the ball on the other side, where I happen to have nobody, which is pretty smart, I think. And it scatters to a horrible location for me, which allows him to have some time to come back in this game. So he crowds out Fathom and starts to buy attacks with Squeak. Does a little bit of damage to her. And that's the end of the turn. He easily wins this. Looks like it's 1 to like 2, 4, 6, 8. I play the get me back or put me back in coach onto Fathom. And I believe he puts the -1 tack onto Sakana, or the -1 weak point onto Sakana. So he starts to buy attacks into Sakana, who's on roughly 10 health. And he ends up doing about 5 damage, and then another 5, and kills off Sakana. 5 or 6. And he's just looking to buy attacks into Yukai, or an attack into Yukai. Gets the knockdown. And yeah, I'm feeling like there's not a lot of options for me this turn, so I just need to kind of stall out. So I just buy attacks into Yukai, or with Yukai into Scourge, just generating momentum. Hindsight, I probably could have moved Yukai closer, but I didn't really want to feed Yukai to his team, so I kind of just left Yukai there. So he's measuring if he can go over and kill the ball, thinking about doing Reverie to move over a model. So he goes with Piper, and he's looking to funnel Angel in. He ends up using Haunting Melody. I tell him to come to me, and then he pushes Angel and then walks, putting her into a crowded out position. And I don't believe she takes any damage from this. So I put up Nimble, and I'm looking to walk Angel out. So we take a parting blow from Piper. Trying to be careful of the knockdown. We take some damage. We are measuring the goal run here. We want her to end up within 8 of the goal, so at least she's a snapshot turret. So he gets a parting blow from Miasma, does some damage, and then we take one from Skulk. And Skulk does follow-up. Here we have a little bit of a discussion about angles. I'm arguing that technically he couldn't, but it's a little too close for me to care. So we're just doing this for science, if anything else. I end up just saying, like, you can make the lightning reflexes jog, but the angle that Skulk is touching base to base with Fathom, it wouldn't be possible. But for the sake of this being a friendly game, I just say, do your thing, and that's cool. Tournament play, I'm not sure. I would have to get a second opinion from someone else on this game, but so either way, I just move his model because just to show that I'm okay with him crowding her out. Here he buys an attack. Skulk. Doing with I believe Graves and takes out Fathom. That's 4-4 or 4-8. And then Fathom comes back in, and now I'm kicking myself a little bit because I feel like I should have put more on Fathom. But it ends up being all right. He just moves Graves in to crowd out Angel. We measured this again, and intention said that I was trying to be within 8, so I'm looking to get the ball here, so I jog Fathom up to the terrain, and I heroic, and then I pass back to Knuckles. I should say she gets the ball, and then I pass back to Knuckles and do a dodge with the passive move. I'm still looking for the snapshot, but it's not looking good with all the crowd outs. He goes with Squeak, buys an attack in Angel. Mind you, Angel is a 6-0. Well, I guess with Disease, she's a 5-0. And then he ends up jogging her away so she can't be in snapshot range. So here I'm looking for possibly getting Salt over and getting the ball to Salt. Not really sure exactly what I'm going to do with that, but we keep Salt in range of Skulk. He just walks over with Miasma and buys attack and Assault. And Salt is pretty weak at this point, so he just kills Salt. So that plan failed. So yeah, now we're on to plan F at this point. So we just pass the ball over to Fathom. Right. The kick actually missed, and it landed on the outside, but it ended up hitting the obstruction, and then Knuckles got the ball back, so Knuckles just walked up and dropped the ball to Fathom. Oh, sorry. The score at the moment is 6-8. Rats. 6 rats, 8 fish, because he took out Sakana. 7, because he took out Sakana, Fathom, Knuckles, and Salt. At this point, I believe I am on... my clock has clocked out. Close to. We're on the negative. So he ends up getting a point off of the Knuckles activation. So he's on 8. Here he uses Pay the Piper, Haunting Melody again, and Angel jogs in to reach. He buys some attacks into her. Uses his legendary to bring everyone back. And then we talk about the angle here. So he brings Skulk in. Out of reach of Knuckles. And then he reveries Skulk over to crowd out Fathom, trying to stop the goal run. I see this as a golden opportunity to go with Knuckles and push Skulk off the pitch. So I buy attacks into Skulk. Believe we knock him down. And then we start to push him. We get 2. And at this point, I am on the clock. So he is at 9-10. Moves Graves over, just trying to crowd out. And he ends. Now I'm looking for the goal run. And at first I'm not seeing it. But realize that I can cut the path through, charge Graves. During this activation, I actually run out of time on the clock. Right about 30 seconds over, so we end within 2, we charge, he defensive counters, I end up getting enough hits for the tackle double dodge, doing acrobatics, he takes a shot, bonus time, and we're up 12 to, I believe, 9, but my clock ended at negative 5.26. So, take it for what it is. Technically, if this was a tournament, I lost. But yeah, good game. Thanks for watching.